Now it's time to hear some speeches. This is where the evening gets really emotional, really funny, or maybe even both. Unfortunately, as much as we love to hear from everyone tonight, we can only hear from, that won't be possible, we'll only be hearing from a special 6 people. But before I pass the mic to Paul, I have a few words of my own. Firstly, from the little time I've spent with you, Paul, Belinda, Jonathan and Caleb, I've recognised why Laura is such a kind-hearted and gentle woman. You've raised a beautiful and God-fearing daughter, and I'm blessed to be able to call you guys family. Talaya and Nakal, I know the boys, they have a lot to say about you both and Kirubel, so I'll keep this short. But one thing I would like to mention is what Bruce said yesterday. The struggle you guys went through to get to where you are today from Nairobi is a testimony of God's working hand. What we may see as pain and struggle, God used to write such a beautiful story. Your hard work, Kirubel Kurat and Natigas is a product of your hard work and sacrifice. በመልካም ስላሳደጋችሁት ኪሩቤል ጥሩ ወጣት ለኔ እና ወንድሜ መልካም ምሳሌ ሆኗል። ስለዚህ አመሰግናችኋለሁ። Kirubel and Laura, congratulations again. I wish you both a happy marriage, and I'm excited to see what this next chapter in both your lives hold. I love you both. I just want to, let's warmly welcome Paul Chadwick to the stage.
Thanks, Johnny.
No worries, just place it more.
Wow, he's doing an amazing job, isn't he? I think he's got a career in the media. For those who don't know, I am Laura's dad, and I work in the media, so I get your job. Okay, people often turn to the dictionary in search of the subtle differences between two comparable words. The closely related words vanity and pride are similar in some respects, yet they differ in others. Each of these words, vanity and pride, they may refer to a state of excessive self-esteem. However, pride may also signify a feeling of satisfaction or happiness either in oneself or on behalf of others based on something that is well done. Vanity is different. Now, for a good explanation of the distinction between pride and vanity, we can look to Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Who's read it? Wow, somebody's read it. Good on you. The character Mary suggests that vanity and pride are different things, though the words are often used synonymously. A person may be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to our opinion of ourselves, whereas vanity to what we would have others think of us. Important distinction. So I think it's important to keep this in mind when we think about pride. A lot of people in this room tonight have a faith in God, and our thinking is somewhat influenced by that faith, and in particular by the scriptures. Some a lot, others not so much. I know that as I grew in my faith in my late teens, I was taught that pride was not necessarily a good thing, but rather something to be shunned in favour of a much more admirable quality that Christians seem to strive towards. Anybody know? Humility. The Bible has a lot to say about pride and humility, with about 60 references to each. God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble in James 4:6. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom in Proverbs 11. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted in Luke 14:11. So, is it wrong for me to say today that I am the proudest father who ever lived? And is it pride or vanity that I'm drawing upon when I openly delight in people associating me with this amazingly beautiful, dare I say, almost perfect girl. And is it wrong that more than anything in the world, I want to declare to the world that Laura Briar Dubali is my daughter? I'm proud of her achievements, and there are many, far too many to list tonight. I'm proud of her choices. I'm proud of her dedication. I'm proud of her dedication to all things that matter. That's why she's a teacher. I'm proud of her work ethic and her devotion. I'm proud of the way she loves. And more recently, I'm proud of her magnificent husband, a man whom I can now, with exceeding pride, call my son-in-law. The man sitting alongside my daughter tonight is a man with strong character, fierce determination, extraordinary wisdom, and, needless to say, impeccable taste. Indeed, I would say he is an esthete. And that's a person with great appreciation for the finer things in life. I can only assume that is why he chose to spend the rest of his life with my daughter. Now, we've known Kirubel and his family for a while now. Prior to Laura dating Kirubel, and for those who don't know, they met in high school at Tyndale Christian School, a school that has been a big part of our lives for many decades and continues to be so, as Laura and her mum both work at the school. And of course, Jonathan, Laura's brother, also found his soulmate at Tyndale. And she's in the bridal party tonight, threatening to steal the show, might I say, from her sister-in-law. Such is Susan's extraordinary beauty. Should be very embarrassed. But before knowing Kirubel, it is safe to say that we didn't have much of an understanding of Ethiopian culture, or any African culture for that matter. You see, I suffer from twin infirmities, and many may agree with this who know me, and these infirmities directly influence my outlook on the rest of the world and its diverse cultures. Number one, I'm British. So I like not to only rule the world, but I know better than anyone else how to run it, or should that read, ruin it. Number two, I'm Baptist. So I like to think that my worldview is the only worldview and everyone else is not too put to find a point on it. Wrong. It is said that there is a wall around the Baptist cohort in heaven to make us believe that we're the only ones there. So when Kirubel came along, he and his wise and beautiful family, Talai, Kalkadan, Sami, and the cutest young man you've ever seen, Caleb, who unfortunately one day will grow up. That's a bit sad, isn't it? They all had a lot to teach us about the way Ethiopians see the world. Now, here's a little bit of a history lesson. Ethiopia is the oldest independent country in Africa. And what's important to note about Ethiopia is that it is one of only a handful of African countries that successfully resisted European colonisation. Yeah. What that means is that my lot, the British, as we like to do, we weren't able to conquer Ethiopia and take it over. So what that tells me is that I should probably sit down and take note of anything I can learn from Kirubel and his family, embracing the Ethiopian culture rather than trying, as my forebears have done for centuries, to repress it. Now, there's a number of things I've learnt, but by far and away the most significant life skill that the Ethiopian culture has shown me is the perfect balance and harmony of pride and humility. Now, I've always believed that these two characteristics of the human condition are opposite and could never live together, let alone live in harmony. But I can tell you that they can and they do. In the Ethiopian culture, I've seen it firsthand, and it's really important. When you figure it out, it changes your whole life. It changes and affects everything you do and why you do it. Let me try to explain. A right and pure kind of pride can lead to a sense of achievement and fulfillment. Like a woodworker can admire something he himself has made with a sense of joy and great satisfaction because he set out to make something wonderful and he succeeded. It's only right that he should want to show it off and share it with others. That right and pure kind of pride can drive us to be our best, never to settle for second best. Now, there's another version of pride, though, and it's an undesirable kind of pride, which may lead to achievement, at least initially, but rarely leads to genuine fulfillment. Because the pride I'm talking about is a pride that's all about me. It's all about self-adulation. Look at me. Rather than being motivated by what drove me to that achievement in the first place. And here's the key. This is important. It's the motivation. It's all about the motivation. What drives you to achieve in the first place? Is your motivation to better yourself or to better what people think of you? Is your motivation to better yourself or to better what people think of you? Because as Jane Austen rightly points out, I think that's more likely described as vanity. Now, the Ethiopian people, those who know in this room will know, the Ethiopian people are indeed a very proud people. And I've observed that they like to share their achievements with those around them. This leads to a tremendous sense of community, a oneness and a kinship that many of us non-Ethiopians looking in from the outside, we envy. Ethiopians call this Habisha. And it signifies a unity of all people in the region, regardless of religion or ethnicity. Habisha is a tremendous source of pride to Ethiopians that it encapsulates how their culture differs from the rest of Africa. This pride drives them forward to see their community prosper and to foster a sense of Yilyunta. I hope I said that right. Yilyunta? Yay! I had no idea whether that was right or not. Now, it's hard to say Yilyunta, and it's even harder to describe Yilyunta, okay? It's a sort of a generosity, a compassion, a love, a respect, an empathy, a selfless self-consciousness motivated out of a genuine consideration for others. Now, I told you it was hard to describe, but we can learn a lot from the Ethiopian culture. Now, in a few weeks' time, Laura and Kirubel will rejoice in the marriage of their eldest son. In a few weeks' time? Wasn't it tonight? Nah. At another celebration called a Mels. Now, it seems that everyone they've ever met and everyone they've ever met comes to the Mels. And it's with good reason. And it's not just Yilyunta. The Mels is an opportunity to showcase everything that the Ethiopian culture celebrates. And it's all about pride. Pride in their culture, pride in their people, pride in their nation, pride in their son and his achievements, pride in the beautiful young lady they now welcome into their family, but most of all, pride in what God has given them. Amen. And that's where the humility comes in. We told you we get to humility. And it's a humility generated by the knowledge that they could not have raised Kirubel to be the man that he is without some help. Help from their community and help from God himself. Like the carpenter taking pride in his work, surveying with great satisfaction the results of all his toil, while celebrating the God-given skills that he has responsibly honed over the years, Laura and Kirubel take great pride in the culmination of God's work in their family. Kirubel didn't just happen. He didn't accidentally become a strong and determined ascetic. Kirubel is the result of years of loving commitment and dedication, years of instruction and example, years of sacrifice and devotion, years of seeking God in every aspect of their parenthood. Of course they are going to take pride in him. How could they not? It's a righteous and yet humble pride. It's a good pride, and it's what I've seen Ethiopians do best. So Belinda and I come to this point in our lives, the day we hand over our most precious jewel that we have loved and cherished for nearly a quarter of a century. And we are bursting with pride. We love this beautiful young lady with everything that we are. To stand here celebrating just who she really is, her absolutely selfless nature, her loving devotion, her unconditional commitment to everything she does, so evident in her loyal service to the Year Ones at Tyndale, and in the way she graciously blessed and mentored students in Shanghai, 2 years running. And of course, we celebrate her extraordinary beauty. And this is really important that you should know this. Laura gets all her beauty and her good looks from me. Because Belinda still has all of hers. This is a young lady who, like her brothers before her, has been the centre of our universe since she was born. She's a girl we call Loopy, who has blessed us with some amazingly memorable experience from hanging washing across a cabin in Devonport, sharing manicures and pedicures together, not me personally, cooking masterpieces in the kitchen in Para Hills, culminating in the internationally renowned Law's Food on Instagram. And I'll permit you to get your phones out and look up Instagram Law's Food. It's quite extraordinary. You get some incredible recipes. Rich blessings with orphans in the remote villages of Cambodia. Seriously. And endless hours of cutting, sticking and laminating for very lucky kids at Tyndale Christian School. And not 1 minute of this would we trade for anything in the whole world. There are more reasons than we've had heartbeats that make us want to sing from the rooftops of our pride in our daughter. And we don't need to feel guilty about that. The Ethiopian Habesha has shown us that pride can be a beautiful thing when used correctly. Indeed, God himself showed us how to rightly exercise pride in the very first chapter of the Bible. You see, he just made something significant, the world. And Genesis 1:31 tells us that God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. After creating the whole world and the universe, God was proud, rightly so. So when I handed over responsibility for my incredible daughter this afternoon in the Walkerville Uniting Church, it was with a profound sense of pride and gratitude in so many things. My daughter, an obvious source of pride, as are all my amazing kids, Jonathan and Caleb, and Jonathan's wonderful wife Susan. Look, I could go on about them all night, but I won't, I mustn't. My wife, Belinda, who is my perfect soulmate on this amazing journey. Belinda and I are truly one. I can't even imagine traversing this adventure without her by my side. I am mighty proud to call Belinda my wife. My parents, Irvin and Doreen, who couldn't join us here tonight because my mum's not so well, but thankfully they shared the ceremony with us earlier. I'm so grateful for the guidance they have given me over the past 5 decades or so. And Belinda's mum and dad, who there's a photo of them on our table, Briar and Errol, and they watch on from their rightful place alongside our Lord, having truly been God's most faithful woodworkers as they carefully crafted an extraordinary family, which I'm so grateful to be a part of. And I take overwhelming pride in Kirubel. On that day in June 2020, it was Caleb Chadwick's birthday to be precise, when Kirubel asked me for permission to marry my daughter. And on the day when it finally happened, when he asked her in July, and Belinda and I raced back from our holiday in Victor Harbour to embrace them outside the Reading cinemas in Elizabeth, I can scarcely remember such exultation, such joy and such pride. I am proud that these two amazing young people are part of my family, and with a Habesha sort of pride, a pride of unity and oneness. I welcome Kirubel into my family just as Talai and Kalkadan welcome Laura into theirs. This uniting of families, this merging of cultures is a great reason to celebrate. It's an opportunity, indeed it's a calling to take great pride in Kirubel and Laura and all that their marriage represents. And so with an Ethiopian pride, a humble pride, a thankful pride, a Habesha pride, I ask you to raise your glasses as we thank God for this great day. Thank you, Lord, for Kirubel and Laura.
Thanks for that, Paul. It wasn't his pronunciation of those Amharic words on point. Now let's just welcome Delay to the stage. He's got some few words to say as well.
I wish I didn't stand this evening because Paul already ruined all the night. History, everything, he has done it all, and then I'm not important to say even a word here. And don't be bored. I don't have words to say. Thank you, Paul. It was an excellent presentation. It's not only a speech, but it was a presentation. God bless you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tilai, and I'm a proud father of the groom. I'm a proud husband of my lifetime companion, Kalkidan, and father of the groom. Tonight, what a privilege and another opportunity to stand here in my son's wedding day to call upon the name of God, who was faithful throughout our life and our journey. Glory, honor, and many, many thanks be for him and him alone. What you see and witness now, 25 years ago, the man seated there, he came to this world in a remote part of Africa, in the border of Somalia and Kenya. A refugee camp where all things were dark and gloomy, where the parents were not being sure about their next meal, where it comes from. I remember I have a lot of memories. I think I messed up. Okay. I remember the groom seated there now. His first 3 months were despairing and very hard to express in word. I still remember the words I prayed hard, saying to God, please don't allow this little beautiful boy to die. Have mercy on us. God heard our prayer and he opened the door to come to Australia when he was 6 months old. The man who is marrying today has left lots of memories as a baby. Kirubel was exceptionally a very different person from the beginning. I think I misplaced my paper somewhere and I'm a little bit confused where I have to say. But I want to say it in words simply from my heart. He was a very different son from the beginning. He likes to mix with older people, and everyone was saying, especially I remember you like saying him, Shemel, that means the old man, even when he was a little boy. I have a great memories of him when he was about 1 year old. He has no friends because we were new to this country. And one day, I don't know why I did it, but I brought a big mirror in front of him when he was crawling. And then he saw in the mirror another boy who looks exactly like him. He crawled towards him, and that baby come towards him again. He wants to touch him, but he can't feel him. So he went on the side to see him on the other side. He disappeared and he started crying. And then he came back and then he see him. And then he laughed and the other boy laughed on the other side. That was something which I can't forget it forever and ever. That was one of the best memories I have with him. He grew up in a church environment which helped him to shape his life. He was very obedient from the beginning. As a child, he has never broken anything or damaged any item in the household. If you put him in a sofa in the morning, he will be there until you pick him up, when you remember him. Watching his favorite show, the Teletubbies. I like that one very much. When I first took him to Ethiopia, I can't forget the moment when he met everyone on the plane to. Some of them were being really touched even to cry. He lifted up his hand and then he saw the green, gold, and red flag, and he turned around. He doesn't shy about what he's doing. You know, he doesn't care for people around him or not. So he turned, Dad, thank you very much to bring me to Ethiopia. And then everyone there's were being, completely overwhelmed by what he did. As he started to grow up, I realized he's much older than his age. He was very responsible from the beginning. He was very determined, in everything what he does. He started working when he was 16. He got his driver license immediately, and then he was independent since then, working hard in different companies. And I see him like, I consider him like a full-grown man, and then sometimes when he comes to me and then he asks me a lot of questions, and Dad, what about I do these things? I will advise him what I can, but I always say, this boy is more wiser than I am. And then I always thank God. When he finished year 12, one day he suddenly came and he said to me, Dad, is that okay if I introduce you? I have a very good friend. Can I bring her home and introduce you? And I said, I was scared. But I said, yes, no problem. Yes, bring her. And then I was, a little bit not being sure what's going to happen. And then asked him, how is she? Is she beautiful? And then he said, don't worry about that one. It's not what you see, but what she is something very important, and you will discover that one. That was what he said in our language. In a different way he expressed it. That he said, it's not only the beauty. You will see how good she is. And then I said one day they had a plan to come home, and I was shocked. I don't know what I said. Hello, until I. And I couldn't hear her voice. Laura. What? And then they sit over there, and then they talk a little bit, and then they didn't stay longer, they left. And then I said to my wife, what a girl she is. I can't even hear what she's saying. And it goes on from that day. I knew God is working. And then I know that my son is more wiser. And the first thing from what I saw her was not only her calmness and quietness, but also I saw how she was dressed. I always bless her when I see her. Laura, I thank you very much. The way you dress is just amazing. And then the funny thing, both of them, they didn't know the city. Honestly, they didn't know where Adelaide is. The first time when he went, when he was 19 or something, when they go to the unit, when he, I think after, how many? He said, Dad, I'm lost where I am. I'm in the city. This is straight in that which way. I start to thank the Lord for everything, you know. He was such a great, they have such a great personality. But as Paul said that, well, he was also, you know, I'm a little bit conservative, typical Abasha. And then I think Laura wanted the family to, you know, to introduce us with the family, but Kirubel said, no, my dad is not like that. Unless we commit to, you know, the final stage, you can't see. I remember once Sammy's car was being broken and Paul was there to help him, and they called me also, and then when I arrived, Paul on a motorbike, he just fled away, and then I didn't even recognize his face, and then he wasn't been there until the last minute, you know, when they make a decision to become, you know, to become together and then dedicate themselves to each other. That is when we met the family. And when I met the family, I was impressed. And it didn't make me, it didn't take me long to realize why Laura has such a personality. Not only her, but not only the father and the mother, her brothers are amazing. Their sincerity and their honesty, you know, that's something clear, love and acceptance. They show us everything. You know, they took us for a holiday in the rivers, and we have an excellent time with this family. And then I said, I am a good hunter to get my wife, but he's more, I think he's more successful than everyone here to get Laura. I'm proud of my wife, but he's really, especially in Australia, to find a girl like Laura is very hard. It is just, you know, out of the blue moon finding something precious, you know. It is amazing. Laura, we are very, very, very happy to have you. I don't have a girl in the family. God has blessed us, the fourth youngest, younger than Kirubel, you know, you are a baby to us now. As you said this morning on your message, I hope Kirubel will be a best man for you. I hope God will prosper you. I believe you will have an everlasting future, not only in this world, but in the world to come. When Christ comes, we all will have another everlasting life together. We will be inseparable together with your family. I'm very proud of you. I want to make short because, as I said, I've messed up with my paper. I picked the wrong paper, so I couldn't say all what I want. But I will have a mels, as Paul said it. The mels is my day. That day, I don't have any meeting. Kirubel told me to speak for 5 minutes. I think I've gone over 5 minutes. So that day, you will allow me to have more. All of you will be there, I'm sure, and you are invited. That is May the 8th. It will be Saturday night at 6 p.m. Everybody of you will get a paper, an invitation. But finally, I would like to thank Pastor Zalala. What an amazing minister. May God bless you. Can you please put your hands together? And thank you to his lovely wife and children. Next to that, I would like to thank the Bethel Church members who have been with us for the last 25 years, also have a lot of input in the lives of Kirubel. I would like to mention few of the people who are very, very important at this gathering. My brother, Chuchu, and his wife, Halima and Dr. Tamrat. Yilak and Mulu. They were the first couples when we arrived in Australia. They are the first one to knock our door. And this little boy was 6 months old when he came. She picked him up, Mulu, and then they took us straight to their house. I was a skinny 57 kilo that time. So they did a lot in our life. And I thank them very much. Since then, he's like his father, godfather for him. That was so amazing. And then I would like to thank all of my community, those who are, all of you who are here tonight to be part of this wonderful celebration, for your input in the lives of my son, to make him a man what he is today. May God bless you. You are my closest, every one of you, in good time and in bad time also. So I thank you very much. I thank my sister who is here also. At last I will give all the credit and the glory to the Lord, who did marvelous history in the family. And I would like to thank all of you who are here tonight to be part of this great celebration. And Kirubel, Laura, congratulations. I love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Talai. That was some beautiful words. We're just going to take a 5-minute intermission. The cake is about to be served and we'll hear from the rest of the boys in about 5 minutes. Feel free to talk among yourselves. Thanks.
That's mom. Yeah. That's mom. That's mom.
Should I use my hand when I do it, or just put it down? I you say it and then you speak up. You have this little thing. Yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah, I was shy.
Yeah, you're trying to get your shine. But who's next?
Bro, this guy's tall.
He's gonna fly past Johnny. He's gonna fly past you as well. Are you first?
Why don't you take the operation for it? But the last speech I got it right. Be honest. It's fine. It's not like a wow thing, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and this is Ronnie.
The other two speeches.
I've got one here. I tell you, the work's going to be a massive struggle tomorrow. So, yeah. Oh, you're from Melbourne, yeah? Yeah, I'll tell you right. Where you live in Melbourne? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I met this in Windsor. Yeah, so like DJs there as well, like a bit of heaps of times, it's like wow, yeah. I was going to do it last year, but yeah, it's had a massive line there, it's been a long time. I love Melbourne so much. Yeah, I was considering it, but I was just like,
I think I got it.
so set up here, like I was trying to house in the city and it makes more sense to that. But Rashi's going to speak. Same boat. I'm literally the same boat. Every time we speak. Yeah, go for it. He's got Tony Martial as well. Martial. They got Russian Martial
Ladies and gentlemen, next up we have Mr. Samson Dubale. I'm not too sure if they have a tissue box or something behind the counter. Might get a bit
Please get it ready. Please get it ready. Thank you, thank you. It's funny because everyone in my family, everyone in my family thought I'd be the first one to cry. I haven't done it yet. My mum is winning that race. I haven't cried yet. Moya has, Josper has, so I feel pretty good. I want to start this off by saying good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming and attending this for 2 blessings in my life. They mean the world to me. Honestly speaking, I won't cry. I won't. Woo. There we go. For those who aren't familiar with me at this moment, I'm the not-so-little brother of the very dashing groom, and I'm honoured to be his best man on his special day. I'm Samson Dubale. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to thank God for bringing us all together and being a foundation in Kirubel and Laura's relationship from the start. I know God has played a part in their relationship because I've never seen such a pair quite like them. I'm really grateful for Laura for not only treating my brother so well, but for making him the best man he can be. And I'm grateful for Kirubel for showing me how to love and respect this significant other the way they deserve. Now, I won't lie to you all here, my feelings for Kirubel and Laura's relationship was not always viewed in the previously stated way. I remember, and my family remember, my exact reaction to seeing Laura come over to my house for the first time. For everyone that's not familiar with me and Kirubel are extremely close, and when I saw Laura come in with my brother, spending more time with him than me, I mean, you should have seen my face, man. I didn't speak to her for maybe 2 years. That's it. Well, that's right. My dad, he tuned me up afterwards. It's alright. He fixed me up. He fixed me up. Honestly, yeah. But Laura, the ever gentle and considerate young lady, she was always very kind towards me, which not only made me look that much worse, but also made me realise that she was going to stick around for a while, as I can see from my mum and my father's face, just how proud they were of Kirubel for bringing the kind of girl that Laura is home. I hope I get lucky. I could go on about Laura's character, but I wouldn't do it full justice without mentioning her beautiful family. Paul, Belinda, Jonathan and Caleb, I want to thank you all for helping build Laura to be the lady she is. I've come to, over these 6 years, to honestly love her like a big sister. And it's a big transition, you should have seen it. So I really... And I want to give a special thank you to Paul. As like my dad said, my tire did actually explode on me. He fixed it for me on the side of the street, so I want to say thank you. I still owe you. I'll look after you, don't worry about that, alright? Anyway, thank you, Laura, for choosing Kirubel. And even though you've been a part of my family for years, I want to welcome you officially and legally. Here we go. Mr. Kirubel, Dubale. You strive for challenge and change and continually take the road that's always less traveled. And despite all the obstacles you managed to overcome to come on top, I just really want to say just how proud and lucky I am to be your brother. There's honestly no better role model. I think I just pulled a dad and missed my notes. Hold on. I'm gonna come from the heart and just be here. Don't worry about that. Kirubel he's been my greatest teacher in my life. honestly speaking. As you can tell, he's the mature one. I come in, I'm doing something. I don't know what I'm doing. Like this. He always has my back. He always looks after me, treats me well, tells me what to do. He's probably 99% of my life right now, honestly. I don't know, if I didn't have Kirubel in my life, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I'll be real with you. He's very special to me, and I thought it'd be much harder, giving away to Laura and stuff. But honestly, it goes to show how much I trust Laura and I love Laura. And Kirubel's probably the most special person in my life. So giving away to Laura, honestly, no issue there. And I also want to thank my family. I want to thank the Getahunds. I want to thank Namir and Nebrahana for coming from Melbourne as well. I want to give a shout out to John as well. So good to see you. So good to have you back. Do something on the weekend as well. I miss you a lot. Everyone knows that. I'll keep it short and sweet. I love you all, guys. Thank you for coming. And one more time, give it up for the newlyweds.
Dude, that was a great freestyle. Loved it. Next up, we're going to hear from my brother Emmanuel Getahan.
Alright, so good evening everyone. I hope that you've all having a lovely time so far and continue to enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Emmanuel Getahan, the son of the lovely Sarah and Getahun. I'd first like to start by congratulating the newlyweds Kirubel and Laura. I'm honestly honoured and privileged to be one of the groomsmen on your special wedding day. Kirubel, despite the difference in height, I still look up to you as an older brother and a great role model. Kirubel has been my brother since the day I came out of the womb, and he has been an inspiration ever since. With all that he has accomplished, Kirubel's honestly set the standard, which only motivates me to do better for my life. He has taught me the importance of surrounding myself with the right people. His success serves as a testimony to his exceptional determination and ambition in whatever he pursues. He is a very analytical, goal-orientated and confident person, but sometimes overly confident, which does bite him back when I beat him in our FIFA games. One thing about Kirubel is that he loves a challenge. And if you were to tell him he couldn't do something, he would do it and go above and beyond. He has proven to be an individual who is always striving for more and never settling for anything less. He's not afraid of trying new things and taking risks. Whilst living life to the fullest, he continues to work on his craft and be optimistic. Despite his accomplishments, and based on our conversation we had the other day, Kirubel does not plan on stopping, and he has so much more he wants to achieve in this life. As you will shortly see, Kirubel is an excellent storyteller, as he is a very engaging speaker. However, one thing I've noticed is that it is very rare for Kirubel to show emotion, as Delia said yesterday. Whereas Laura, on the other hand, seems much more likely to show emotion. So maybe it is true that opposites do attract. Now for the bride. Laura is honestly the most humble and genuine person you'll ever meet. As well as being a woman with substance, she is a very lovable person. Her caring and nurturing behaviour explains her passion for teaching. This was evident the other day when Laura was telling me about her love of her students and her in-class experiences leading up to this day. I'd also like to use this opportunity to thank the parents from both sides. Starting with Paul and Belinda, I'd like to thank you for being so welcoming. And despite me face-planting a few times in the wakeboarding, I want to thank you for taking us out to the river with the boat and jet skis, as that was honestly the most fun I've had in a while. And I'm ready for round 2. One thing I've observed about Paul is that although Laura may not find your jokes very funny, I find your sarcasm and jokes very hilarious. And to Delia and Kalkiran, I'd like to thank you for raising Kirubel to be a great role model for not only his younger siblings, but to my younger siblings as well. And to two of the loudest people on most mornings, Kalkiran and my lovely mum Sarah. Despite living interstate, my mum and Kalkiran are on the phone 24/7. However, what continues to frustrate me is how loud they speak to each other over the phone. Their logic seems to be, due to them living in different states, it's only right for them to scream louder over the phone just to make the other person hear them. However, I can say their relationship and bond is representative of the bond me, my brother Kirubel and Samson all share. Despite living in Melbourne, us boys always keep in touch. We may not see each other as often as we would like, but when we are together, either on FaceTime or in person, we pick up right where we left off, and that's why we call ourselves brothers. And lastly, to Kirubel and Laura, I really encourage you to keep God at the center of your relationship, and I cannot emphasize the importance of prayer. I pray that you guys glorify God in all you do, and continue to grow spiritually, and continue to walk with the Lord as the God-fearing people you are. And as the saying goes, love for your brother what you love for yourself. So from the bottom of my heart, I'm really happy for you both, and I look forward to what God has planned for the both of you. I'm proud to call you both family, and I'm just excited as you are for this next chapter in your lives. Once again, congratulations to the newlyweds in solidifying your position in each other's lives. I'm wishing you an abundance of joy, love, and happiness. God bless.
Yes, I haven't cried yet. No one else doesn't look like has either. Next up, we have the doctor, the man himself, Sam Josper Tafari.
The new title I'm now going by, as Talai calls me, is Duck! Oh man. Wow. So Kirubel, you did it. Wow. You asked out, you won over, and now you're marrying the love of your life. That is no mean feat, and not only that, together you've already travelled far. Together you've already built a home. Together you've solved each other's problems, and together you've made each other's happiness your own. Although today you've made a vow before God to one another, it's been clear to all of us for the longest time how deeply devoted and committed to one another that you both are. I remember when Kirubel first told me about Laura. He spoke about her with an excitement and an awe and a tenderness that I'd never known about him. As I said, this guy doesn't show emotion. I've known this guy since we were like 0, yeah? And we've spent like every other day together, getting up to mischief, the details of which I won't get into, not today at least. But definitely enough to make Akiran and Mum call us a number of names. Barage, Dunkor, Bisbis, I'll stop there. I mean, we were cheeky kids. We'd put food for you, up to uses that it wasn't intended for. And there's a patch of grass somewhere in Kilkenny that will never grow again because we got salt of the earth. That's what I mean. That's 24 years I've known this guy, and the way he talks about Laura, you won't see him talk about anyone else. Never has he complained of her, never has he tired of her, never does he cease to be amazed by her intelligence, her grace, and her goodness. But Laura, and I'm sorry Kirubel, but before you go to living with this guy full time, I've got one hard truth I should divulge to you. This part stinks. Kirubel told me he's never passed gas in front of Laura. Is that true? That's 100% true. Now that's dedication to the cause, brother. That's a keeper, Laura. Alright? You now share a bed, so it's only a matter of time. That's inte kan de hålla. Samson, Aiden and I have long suffered, and welcome to the club, won't you? The hierarchy goes in terms of lethality: anthrax, COVID, Kirubel's five. Trust me, I'm a doctor. A tip I've learned to get through some very stinky patients is if you rub a little alcohol wipe on your nose, you're good for about 30 minutes, alright? Okay. Points 2 and 3, you might also need a surgical mask and a nose clip as well, because they're nasty. However, in spite of all this, he's my brother. I literally sat down with a guy and our brothers and our dads a few days ago, and we spent the better part of 30 minutes laughing about people vomiting. That's what I love about this guy. He's on a mission every day, but we still laugh like we're 6, probably about the same things. Yeah. On a serious note, Kirubel, I'm so proud of you for stepping up and not only pursuing the woman of your dreams, but treating her as she deserves, giving her your time, your passion, your respect, and your support in all things that she does. Finally, Laura, I have no words to describe how remarkable you are, not only as an individual, but as a partner for Kirubel. I could not have asked for a better wife for him. And I can see how genuinely you care for him and his family. They are now your family, as are all of us. You have embraced our customs and our cultures in ways that have far exceeded our expectations. And I read that before you said your vows in Amharic. You have gone well and truly beyond that. You are incredible. I can't wait to follow this journey of yours as the two of you build your lives together. There is absolutely nothing the two of you won't be able to do together. Two driven, intelligent, beautiful, and caring people, perfectly devoted to one another. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Congratulations.
More great words. Can we just get one more round of applause for all the words that spoke today? Kirubel's just stuck out for 2 seconds, so I did want to mention one thing I was speaking to Kirubel about, and you did touch on it today. One thing about Kirubel's character and how he's so determined, and one thing I really admire about him is he's never afraid to challenge anything that you try to tell him or try to tell him to do. You know, he's always looking for a way around, or he's just always stepping over obstacles. And I think Delayed played a really big part in that, with how he was, as a father, like, normally it's black and white, like he'll tell you, I'll just get straight to it. Delayed, he's never afraid to debate and discuss with Kirubel, and even if Kirubel's right, Delayed's always humbled and, you know, learns from Kirubel as well. It's not just a one-way kind of thing. They're always open to discuss back and forth, and I feel like that's really shaped his character. So, you know, props to you, Delay, on influencing the man he's become. Yeah, let's give a warm welcome to Kirubel as he comes to the stage.
Thanks, bro. Okay, so I'm not very emotional, as you guys have heard, but I'll be honest, I struggled writing this, like, twice. So I'm just going to get into it. Hello, everyone. I wanted to start off by saying on behalf of my wife, Laura and I, thank you for celebrating this special occasion with us. It truly means a lot. Now, I'd like to specifically say thank you to Paul and Belinda. Thank you for who you both are as people. Thank you for how you have raised your family. And thank you for how you have treated me over the last 6 years. Today I am filled with so much joy, excitement, and love because of the woman that you raised and the woman that I will now walk beside for the rest of my life. You only need to look over at Laura to see how much she appreciates you both as well. Cue the tears. Jonathan and Caleb, thank you both for being so cool with the black dude coming over to take your little sister out. She's always valued both your opinions and has clearly loved growing up with both of you as amazing role models. So thank you. Mom and Dad, or as I called them when I was younger, Bin Laden and Hitler. for good reason. You have been an amazing balance of kind and stern. You have been strict, you have been kind, you have been there, and you have worked hard. As kids, we may not know how to show it, but today I want you to know that us three boys appreciate, and the Get the Home boys, Josper, and all the boys close, John, you guys know who you are. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm doing a dad too, Sammy. Yeah. But today I want you guys to know that we all appreciate everything you have done for us, and we know that you've done your best, so we appreciate it. Mum, my confidence in everything is because of you. I don't like showing any weakness. I'm all good. I never liked showing any weakness or anything negative. But whilst growing up. But in the few times in my life where I have doubted myself or got nervous and opened up a little bit, by asking if you thought I could make this team, or if you thought I could do this or that, or whatever I think, you've always said yes without any doubt or hesitation. I don't know why, but when you say it, I believe it. That meant everything to me. Dad, my aspiration and determination has come from you. In my life, I have never met someone who works as hard as you. You are a person with real skills and talent that has done and achieved a lot of things. But everybody who knows you knows that you could have and still can do even more great things. I only hope that moving forward, no matter what you do or achieve, that one day, come on, one day you can look at me and feel the sense of achievement and success that you deserve. I love you both. Sammy, listen well, because I won't say anything like this again until you get married, so I probably won't be saying this again. In a way, you have been the biggest burden in my life, but also one of the biggest blessings in my life. The amount of money, time, and who knows what else that I've spent on you, and the beatings that I've received because of you are high in number. But I would do it all today, just for the memories and loads of fun that we've had over the years. It really is amazing how similar yet different we are at the same time. You can make anyone laugh and make anything funny. You're becoming a man now, and one that I am very proud of. I am grateful to have you as a brother. Eden, Susan, and Georgia, you all look beautiful today. Thank you for being both a part of Laura's life and mine. Today would truly not be the same without any of you. Now Khaled, Josper, Moni, Johnny, you boys are my brothers. You I trust more than anyone. I could talk forever about all of you. But all I want to say is that I love you. And now, my wife, Laura, you are beautiful. But first, in you, I see God. I see His grace. I see His grace, and I see His love, and to me that's incredible. In you I find a home. I find confidence and love. And for you I am determined and aspire to be everything I can be. For you I would do anything. I look forward to supporting. Come on, man. I look forward to supporting, encouraging, and pushing. This wasn't even the part that got me emotional. I look forward to supporting, encouraging, and pushing you towards all your dreams and goals. I can't wait to just do life with you. You are my best friend and the greatest blessing in my life. I love you. Thank you.
That was. Let's give them all a round of applause.